in, son. Come on in.
You got no business being down here.
How you doing, Sam?
What you doing?
Get out of your mouth! Crazy! Absolutely lost it. Maybe we don't need any more impersonation.
How you doing?
Good.
Good?
Good, Sarah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Are you coming to the concert on
I'm
Wednesday?
there. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Hey!
I'm in. You count me in.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, David, I want to hear your story with James Brown. Okay, so
Yes.
how you met James Brown?
Well, I grew up in New York City. I've always been a James Brown fan.
Okay.
And when I was in my 20s, I went to see James Brown play. It was about 1976.
Okay.
Madison Square Garden. He played the Felt Forum. I was with my friend Carl. We saw the show. It was unbelievable.
Right.
We went out for dinner after the show, Carl and I, and then a couple hours after the show, we happened to get our car from the garden and then pulled out onto 8th Avenue. And coming out of Madison Square Garden was a big limousine. And I said to Carl, I bet you that's James Brown's limousine.
Really?
So we pulled up to 34th Street. I was praying for the light to turn red. It did. We pulled up, the limousine pulled up next to us. I had never seen a show like this. And so I was so excited that this could be James Brown in the limousine. And then the back window rolled down, and sure enough, it was Mr. Brown.
Wow.
Big smile. And we only had a few seconds to say hello, but in that moment I said, would you mind giving me your autograph?
Okay.
And he said, sure. So my friend Carl's looking for something and finds an old bank book in my glove box and a pen. And at this point the light turns green and Mr. Brown tells the driver, no, don't wait.
Really?
Yeah, wait. And he took the time to sign his name and give me that autograph. And that was my first introduction to James Brown. Yeah.
And why you became a fan of James Brown?
There was something about the music that
Yeah.
I just could not, I just couldn't get out of my head.
Right.
I was just, completely taken by the music.
Right. Any song that is your favorite song from James Brown? Is there one particular one? I mean, I know he has so many. I know.
I like Get on the Good Foot.
Get on the Good Foot.
It has to do with, I adopted that for my email address, and that's the one that I go with.
Really?
But
Your
Get on the Good
emails
Foot.
like that?
Yes, but one of the reasons why my son was born in New York in 1987, and so I came home from the hospital. It was like 3 in the morning, and I'm like just tired as heck, and I put on a record. And what do I put on? Get on the Good Foot, and it's getting down to the crib, let it all hang out. And I was thinking, I'm setting my son's crib up, going down to the crib. It all came together, and that was it.
Wow, that's a great story right there.
That was
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a great connection with Mr. Brown, right?
Yeah.
That is great. So, what other stories you have?
So over the years, I began to take photographs of Mr. Brown, and
really?
I got to know the band, and I got to know Miss Gertrude Sanders, who was Mr. Brown's wardrobe mistress.
Okay.
And through Miss Sanders, I got to meet, Holly and
Holly
Jerry,
Farris.
Holly Farris, and Jason, and St. Clair Pickney, and the band, and Mr. Hall, and yourself, and I basically these photos that I took.
Let me see.
I have some
you
here.
have them here, right? Oh, wow.
Some of them I took of Danny Ray, Mr. Brown.
We have Danny Ray.
Yeah, we have. Now James was playing a lot of small clubs in New York City in the 70s and 80s, so it was.
Those are your pictures.
Yeah, these are my photos, and.
Do you remember the years of this?
Yeah, this was like 1980, maybe 81. Some of these have Holly, and they have
Who's this?
Jimmy Nolan in some of these. That might be either
Fred
Ron
Thomas or Ron Lester?
or Ron Lester. It might be Ron Lester.
Ron Lester.
Yeah, Martha Hines.
Yeah,
and
it
some
looks
of
like
these.
Ron.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I have.
Right, I don't know who this is.
Yeah, and that's.
This is Holly, right?
Yeah,
Because
that's Holly Farris.
I know because he's white.
That was Mandy.
Holly.
and that's Jason Sanford, I think was his name, and that's St. Clair Pickney.
Yeah, that's back when St. Clair was playing with him.
Yeah,
Huh.
and
Let's see.
a lot with Danny Ray.
This is a great
and of
picture
course the
right
cake.
here, isn't it? Wow.
So
Beautiful.
Picture.
these are just some of the ones I've taken. And
And
anyway,
this is with Danny.
yeah. my photos then would get to Mr. Brown through Miss Sanders, who would get me, back to see him originally, and then Mr. Hall, and then the one story that, stands out in my mind was James Brown performance on Saturday Night Live, 1980, maybe 81. I think it was 1980, and he asked me to come and be there. So I sat backstage with Mr. Brown, and it was myself, Mr. Brown, and Reverend Al Sharpton, and Mr. Brown was backstage with me. We talked for a while, and then the stage manager came back just before the show and said, "Mr. Brown, you have an extra 45 seconds because we cut one of the songs." So at that moment I saw this marketing genius light up in his head where he just said, "Okay, I got 45 more seconds of airtime, national TV, NBC." And in that moment he said to me, "Well, we'll just have to name some more we'll have to put some more lyrics to this song, David." So in that moment he came up with more cities, and the song was Rap Payback. So it was all the different cities, Chicago, St. Louis, and then one of the things that I remember the most, he said, "David, we can't just name any city. We have to name a city where the people are." So in that moment,
that's James Brown.
That was it. The marketing genius of James Brown.
He's like, wait a minute.
In that moment, I got to write a song with James Brown.
Really?
It was an incredible moment. I mean, I didn't actually write the song. I just helped come up with some more lyrics, and I just, it was incredible. So all of those experiences, just reinforced that he was, just.
He was a great man. Yes.
A great man.
But we know complicated, and we know that not perfect, like we all not are. Right.
So somehow I think I've lived my life around these phrases of James Brown's, which is, nothing beats a failure but a try. Nothing beats a try but a fail. I tell my kids that. I just try to live by the goodness that he preached.
Do you have impersonation of James Brown? You have to, because we all do have impersonation of James Brown.
I have one James Brown impersonation.
Let's see.
When he was telling Miss Sanders, we were downstairs at the Lone Star Cafe, and somehow or another it was before showtime, and I don't think I was supposed to be there. And he said to Miss Sanders, "Now, Miss Sanders, you know you've got no business being down here." That's about my...
That one's his voice.
No, Miss Sanders, you got no business being down here.
That's right.
You should know better than that.
Thank you. Those pictures are great.